Reports of a Namibian having allegedly been shot by two Chinese nationals at Andara in the Kavango region has incensed many. I spoke to Isdor Muronga, who visited the scene where the incident took place.
The Chinese guy pulled out a chain and tried to whip the guy with the chain, and the guy overpowered the Chinese guy, and he used the same chain to whip the guy. He went again to go get the hammer to try and hit the guy with the hammer, but the guy overpowered him once again. So in the process, apparently they stopped the fight, and then he called the other guy now, the other Chinese guy, because the guy was now based in Gebhardt. So I don't know what they spoke, because obviously they spoke in Mandarin, in their own language, so people didn't know what they were talking about, but by the look of things, it looks like he told him that he's being beaten this side, so he needed a backup of some sort. To which now this guy drove, that is 15 kilometers from Gebhardt to Andara, where the incident occurred. He drove, and upon his arrival, he handed a gun to the guy who was now in scuffle with the other guy. So the guy, upon his arrival at Andara, he apparently then gave the guy who had the fight with the deceased a pistol or a weapon. So to which then this guy, the guy who had a scuffle with the deceased, shot wanted to scare the guy so he doesn't come close to him to fight him. But then this guy that came to deliver the weapon decided to shoot the guy. So apparently, again, these are stuff that people are saying on the ground. Apparently, he shot the guy once, and as he was going down, he shot him again. And while he was on the floor, like he was down, he got close to him and shot him twice. So it was like an execution style. So, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So, now the guy was there, and then some guys rushed in and picked him up because he was still gasping. So they picked him up and rushed him to the hospital. Unfortunately, he didn't make it back. So these Chinese guys were there. They were at the shop. While, in fact, what they were saying, what the witnesses were saying, or they were alleging, is that while they were actually there, like watching him gasp for his last breath, after shooting him. It's not like they attempted to do anything. They were just there. So it is the community members that then went in and picked him up to take him to the hospital. So, and then the Chinese guys still stayed there. Apparently they were just there. Then, I don't know, maybe somebody called the police, and then eventually the police arrived. And then upon the police arrival, the police, because they had a lady who's black, who works there as well, who could be a witness, a potential witness in the case, who works for the Chinese guys. So what the guys did is they came and they got this lady, they loaded him into a police van, and they asked, I think, and then they took the guns away from the Chinese guys. They did not immediately arrest the guys, and they then asked them to drive, like to get into their car, and drive 15 kilometers back to the wound where the police station is. So I think then they drove themselves to the police station, and then at the police station, I think that's where they got. I don't think they got arrested. I wouldn't call it arrested. In fact, they were ushered in when they arrived at the police station.
Local villagers were angered by the events that took place and decided to loot some of the shops. Security services retaliated with brute force.
The morning when the villagers now in Andara woke up and went through, their daily routines, then some of them discovered that the place was open, like it was wide open, and there was no one there. I think that's the time that some decided to help themselves. It was out of frustration, and everybody wanted to somehow get these guys punished. So they kind of took the law in their own hands. When I arrived there, I then spoke to the people that were gathered there. That's when I was informed. Because there was a contingent of the reserve force, maybe about 50 members who were there. So I then asked, what was going on? They said, no, these guys are actually going door to door, trying to get back the items that were stolen from the Chinese shop. And then in the process that they were going door to door, being the reserve force, I don't know who told them they're above the law, they were literally abusing people there. So they were beating up people, young, old people. They would go in a house, and then they would search the place. If they find maybe foodstuff that are not opened yet, they'll ask you for receipt. If you don't have receipt, you are definitely in trouble. So it was that bad. that when I arrived, I then called the councillor, the honourable councillor, and informed him of the situation, to which he then shared the number for the regional commander, and I called the regional commander to also register, like I was literally complaining, like this was not, it was unlawful, what they were doing was unlawful. So at the end, they then called off the operation. They beaten up one lady from Andara, like beaten like, literally to unconscious level, and then arrested that lady.
The Chinese ambassador's remarks on the incident were deemed rather insensitive. The affirmative repositioning movement's Joe Bamupanda sent a rather scathing letter to Chinese Ambassador Zhang Yiming, which was headed, "Regarding your arrogance, insensitive and patronizing conduct as ambassador," which he copied to our Minister of International Relations, Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. The end of the letter read as follows. "We will no longer wait for politicians to raise concerns involving you on our behalf, for they have evidently failed to deal with you. We don't appreciate nor approve of your conduct in our country. Our country is not owned by politicians you control and direct. We expect you to reorientate yourself and control your language going forward. And finally, if you continue to conduct yourself in such an irresponsible manner, we will ensure that you leave our country immediately."